Hey there, reflection. Welcome back to another diary entry here on Nature's Journal. And I'm your diarist, Jeneska. And if you're new here, I welcome you. Welcome. I'm so glad to have you here today. I decided to do an intro because it's been a minute since I've done it, and yeah, why not? Today I want to speak about living in your authenticity. Um, Human beings are like diamonds. Like each and every single human being that exists right now on this planet, in this dimension that we are in, is a diamond. And a diamond has different faces, right? It's multi dimensional. And so is a human being. Each and every single human being has characteristics that tend to contradict the other side. So if I were to present myself as this loving, caring being, I still have parts of me that aren't loving, that aren't caring, that are just the opposite, the exact opposite of, the quote unquote, the positive traits. And the reason why I decided to speak on this is because I really find it fascinating how we tend to punish ourselves when we don't act according to the vision that we want to uphold. So, say for example, you find yourself judging someone. Of course, you do not want to do that for the betterment of yourself and of the other person, but largely on your part. You do not want to be that person that's always critiquing other people. But eventually, when you find yourself do that, you beat yourself up. And I've learned not to do that, because not to say that I'm justifying being judgmental, but I'm accepting it. You know how they say that what you resist persists? So the moment you keep on resisting that part of you that's judgmental, is the more you'll see it play out in your life, unintentionally or subconsciously. And so being multifaceted really boils down to you accepting that you are everything. You are that angry. Like, there's so much. It's so fascinating how, oh my God, this is so beautiful. Each and every single human being is an entity, but that entity is composed of various traits and characteristics that makes up that entity, right? So me as an entity, as a being, I cannot exist without other parts of me that makes me Patience or Jeneska, whoever you know me as, right? All of these traits, the positive and the negatives and the neutral traits, are what makes me me. So I can't necessarily keep on beating myself up when one of these when this aspect of me wants to shine through, and then I disregard it. So I think being authentic has to do with giving yourself grace, and it has to do with you opening yourself up, holding space for yourself, so that all of these parts of you exist. It might not be comfortable, because when sometimes you feel anger, it's just, it's so intense, so dense, that you just want to get out of your body. But it exists for a reason. And I always say this, and I'm going to reference this over and over again, but emotions aren't the bad guy. The emotions are messengers. They carry out a message. So it's up to you as an entity whether you allow these messengers to gift you the messages, or you keep on shunning them out. And the more you shun them, is the more they'll keep on banging on the door, like banging the door for you to open up. And I think when we then allow ourselves to accept that, live in acceptance, we can live in harmony. We can truly live in harmony with ourselves. Um, yeah, that's what I wanted to share today. Consciousness is it's an interesting thing. This whole thing that we're doing here, it's quite interesting to sit here as part of consciousness and experience myself as this entity that is not so much a single entity, but it's an entity that is comprised of various entities. Even my cells are entities on their own. And when they come together collectively in amalgamation, when they come together collectively, they create this bodysuit, this temple, this house that is housing me as a soul, or consciousness in itself. But I wouldn't be a human without these little entities that makes me me. And I guess that also plays a part in understanding unity or oneness, that each and every single human being, each and every single plant, every single thing that exists right now that is consciousness, or that has consciousness, that has life, the breathing force, is consciousness, is me, you. It's one and the same thing. It's just that we're taking different forms, different shapes. So we're just like cells. I'm a cell in this huge body. But my body, you could say that if one cell decides to degenerate, it's going to be replaced, because energy never really dies, right? Energy cannot be destroyed. So it transforms to a different state. It comes back as a much better cell. So even when a human or an ant or a fly decides to leave, it's not leaving. It's not the end of the fly's journey, but just the beginning, And I'm feeling compelled to speak about consciousness and why some of us are here right now. Some of us are here to acknowledge that we are consciousness having a human experience. And I know that a lot of souls aren't aware of this. And it truly breaks my heart to have to notice souls go through this over and over and over again, lifetime upon lifetime, not knowing who they truly are. And they have to come back here again and to repeat the cycle till they learn whatever lesson that they have to learn. And if you're that soul, and if you're listening to this, chances are that you need to hear this. I want you, this is coming from the depths of my soul right now. I want you to remember who you are. You've been doing this over and over and over and over again. You need to remember who you are. You can't keep on doing the same thing over and over again. It is time for you to level up. If you're hearing this right now, it is meant for you. Open your heart, open your mind, open your eyes, and listen to the universe speak to you. You probably think that this is all there is, or that what you know might be true. And I know that I truly do know that it is scary having to drop all that you know for you to... It's scary for you to unlearn yourself in order to remember yourself. But the self that you are about to lose, that is about to die, is not the true you. It is the you that was conjured up so that you could survive, so that you could experience what was like having that humanly experience. The greatest gift in life is death, and I don't mean exiting this realm completely, but I mean letting go of that old self, shedding your skin. And so it is going to be a difficult path. Only when you resist, only if you continue resisting your true nature. Allow your authentic self to filter through. You're always in the state of flux, you're always changing, you're never constant. So why fear change? Why hold yourself back when you can open yourself up to the wonders of the universe that exists right now? Why hold yourself back? You need to realize that the fear that is inside you, one thing about fear that I've noticed is that yes, it can be of assistance if you learn to detach from fear. And what I mean by that is you not identifying yourself with the fearful thoughts or the fearful emotions that you're feeling. So you're able to sit down and observe fear play out. By doing that, you realize that fear has no power, no control over you, and you rise above it. You see that fear in itself is an illusion. I really love the acronym false evidence appearing real. That's what it is. You need to learn how to maneuver through these emotions. And by observing, it's you sitting down and feeling yourself through the fear. Because each and every single emotion needs to be felt. You can't move past it by shunning it out or suppressing it and think that you are now upgrading to the next level, or that you, I don't know, you've conquered your quote unquote fears or your past tribulations. You need to feel your emotions in order to move through, in order to level up. Because all of this is just a game, and it's a matter of understanding how to play the game. And now I know it's easier said than done, but with practice, you will conquer whatever that you're going through. And it's not so much about conquering again. I know I'm contradicting myself right now, but it's just allowing yourself to see things for what they are, to see yourself for who you truly are, for who you truly are. And the process of becoming isn't an easy process. Given that you are in this human suit, you are having this human experience. So it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy, but you can make it a bit easy for yourself by surrendering to yourself. You can. I know you can. We both know you can. I ask you right now to let go of whatever you thought you knew was true. Because during this process of unbecoming, it means that you have to shatter your reality. And now how reality actually works, based on my perception and my understanding, is each and every single person has settings. And these settings are stored in the brain. So that's why, or are stored in the mind rather. So each and every single person conducts their life, perceives life based on their settings that is in their program. Mind settings. You see what I mean? Now, these mind settings are stored in your brain. Each and every single person's mind has files. Okay, so your mind has various files we call the belief system. So within the belief system, you've got statements, you've got your truths. What would determine a person's truth? Okay, how do I structure this? Each and every single person, right, has belief systems. So you could visualize this as a library that is your mind, your archives, right? And in this library, there's sections. So there's section A, section B, C, D, E, F, G, till infinity, okay? And in section A, you have documents within those files that allow you to process information based on the words that are written or printed in those in those documents here. What I'm trying to say here is that each and every single statement that you have consciously or subconsciously agreed to be true, in other words, believed to be true, it is stored in your subconscious mind as a belief system, and therefore it is going to be carried out into your daily life. You're going to present yourself, you're going to perceive the world based on the statements that you have convinced yourself to be true, whether you've convinced yourself directly or indirectly. And what I mean by indirectly is you've taken up statements or assumptions from people, from society, from your friends, from your community, from family, wherever you may have adopted those belief systems from. That is where they come from. Because think about this, right? And I would love for you to have an open mind right now. So let's break this down. We're gonna try and break down the belief system game. When I first started my process of, I guess, questioning everything, or the process of unbecoming rather, I had to question, why is it that you have a person that believes in ancestors and you have person B that believes in God, right, who's a Christian. You have person C who believes in both ancestors and God. You have someone who believes in Allah. And all of these people pray to their own gods, right? So one prays to their ancestors. I mean, some people might not say that they're praying to their ancestors, they're speaking to their ancestors. So it's just a matter of concepts right now. But I'm just going to use pray for the sake of comprehension purposes. So all of these people pray individually to their own gods, and they all receive answers. Now, we're not going to factor in duration and all of those things, but if person A prays to their ancestors and is like, I speak to you and I would love for you to gift me, I don't know, a house, or give me the ability to purchase a home for my family and this and that. So say each and every single person is practicing or speaking or using the same prayer, but changing the words, of course. So they all have the same aim, which is to purchase a home or to get a home. And you'd find people that do not believe in anything, does not believe in a higher power, all of that, but they still get things done. And you have to factor in luck and all of these things. So there's a lot that constitutes or that makes things happen. I guess I am also sitting here with a belief system because these are just statements that I've accepted to be true, and I see them play out in my life and I see how impactful they are. So same way someone else might sit there and be like, well, Allah, I pray to Allah and I follow Allah's way. He's able to bless me with the blessings that I have today. Someone might say this exact same thing about God. So for me, it all boils down to, I guess, understanding oneself more than anything. I'm not sitting here trying to convince people to change their ways of life, although it would bring them, not only me, but them, a huge sense of joy to oneself, to actually remembering who you are. I feel like a lot of people don't understand how intricate this thing is. So you might say, well, why don't I remember who I am? If I'm truly consciousness, you know, God having a human experience. And when I say God, wait. Let me first demystify the word God. God, I'm just speaking about consciousness, the sea of consciousness where we come from, right? The true you, the one that is observing and listening to this. That is what I'm referring to. So, this self, having a human experience, there are various aspects to this self, to consciousness, the grand consciousness in itself. So when we come down, so this is how it plays out. We have the sea of consciousness, which is the existence of everything, okay, where everything comes from. And this sea of consciousness decides, it's like a body. Yeah, I want you to picture this. Your body is consciousness. It is equivalent to consciousness. Each and every single cell in your body makes up consciousness. And consciousness then decides to have various experiences because it's so intelligent, so magnificent, so omnipotent, to the point where it wants to experience what's like being a human, what's like being an alien, what's like being a starseed, what's like being a plant, what's like being a bug. So it creates these various realms, right, that are very intricate because we experiencing, me and you having this chat right now, or you listening to me right now speak to myself and you. So within a reality, there are various realities, but I'm not going to get into that today. We're just going to stick to how we decided to have this human experience. So the sea of consciousness then decided to delegate various cells for certain function. Okay, so you'd have a group of cells, group of cells specifically dedicated to act as lungs. But now you need to understand that a tissue is made out of, because you have cells, and then you have a tissue, then you have a muscle, then you have an organ, right? So all of these distinctions collectively, as this human race, this on earth right now, you could equate to probably a finger. All of these cells that makes up a finger is me and you right now, making up this entire finger, right? So consciousness is broad. I truly want to, I think I'm going to do a part 2 where I explain. I need to jot this down, list in a diagrams for me to be able to articulate myself. But it's so beautiful, and I so wish that a lot of people remove fear or see fear for what it truly is, and to just sit down and have a day or two or a week or a month where they just question and they allow themselves to question. Allow yourself. There's so much beauty in remembering who you are. Of course, this is not a straight path. It's not all beautiful and bright, but it's worth every trial. It's worth every step. It's worth it. That's all I can say. Anyone who's listening to this right now, because not anyone is going to listen to this. So if you're listening to this, chances are you needed to hear this. Okay. So it might take you 10 years, it might take you probably 3 months, 3 hours, or probably 5 lifetimes for you to get it. But I just so wish it doesn't have to be another lifetime. I just so wish it doesn't have to be another lifetime, so that you can see the beauty in existence. To really see, oh my God, I'm in awe right now. Please open yourself up and allow yourself to be. Allow the process of unbecoming to happen, to take place. Allow it to occur. And give yourself space. Create space for yourself to remember who you are. Remember. You're not away. And that's the beautiful thing about all of this, is that you're never disconnected from source. You're never disconnected from your true sense, your true self. You're never disconnected. You're always there. You've always been connected. There's no such thing as a disconnection. All you have to do is to open your heart space, open your heart, your eyes, and your mind. He really meant it when he said it. Bob Marley meant it when he said it. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery, and you will see the gift of life. You will see yourself for who you truly are. Thank you for tuning in. I truly appreciate it, and I hope that whatever you heard resonated with you on some level. I know that it did. Leave a comment below. Don't forget to engage and share this message with anyone in your life. Feel free to. And you'll hear from me in the next entry. Goodbye, reflection. Adios.